Hey guys, it's Gus,
and Carlos from Hardware Unplugged.
and today we're going to be checking out the Dornfirnger Rawpad Control Mousepad. Before we get started, please make sure you hit that like button to show support, and if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. With that being said,
Let's begin.
I think that's an 8. Oh shit. Oh my god, get off of me! Get off of me!
Piano rock, así.
No. Careful, don't die!
Oh, yeah, pero it's fresh.
He's on the other side, healing. Left. Stay left. 45 on her. Open it. I got some of my own knees! Boy, right here. Don't die. Yes, I can take you on. What? I think it's slow. We got clear dogs. Careful.
Oh!
I think you're fine. This one. You're better.
Getting mouse pads outside the US is very expensive, especially nowadays as shipping prices have gone crazy high for obvious reasons. So trying mouse pads from other countries is really rare for us, but my brother Gus found out that a German company called Dornfinger had its mouse pad for sale on Amazon for $25, so we knew right away we had to pick it up. Now before I tell you about our experience with Dornfinger, let's get the specifications of the mouse pad out of the way. The Dornfirnger Rawpad control has 4 sizes, but only one size available through Amazon during the making of this video. The Dornfirnger Rawpad measures 483mm by 420mm and is 4mm thick, which is a very nice size as we prefer mouse pads closer to artisan's dimensions nowadays. Pad lays out flat out of the box, stitching is good, no fraying, and the base is your standard OEM base, but it's grippy and doesn't move around. So everything about the mouse pad sounds great on paper. It's a slow control pad with a decent size, it has no coating, and it's $25. Now the first 2 days I was having a blast with the mouse pad. It was slow, but not aggressively slow for me, and it did have a smooth consistent glide. But on the 3rd day, I noticed I was extremely off and I could not track as consistently with the mouse pad at all. So to compensate for this, I decided to use my MP01S with glass skates, and boy oh boy, that felt even worse. You see, I was using virgin grade PTFE feet with the mouse pad for the first 2 days, and on the 3rd I was off. So I thought maybe the smooth glide glass skates provide would make me track better and play consistent. But unfortunately, the glass skates felt extremely slow and heavy in the area I would play on the pad the most. With my glass feet feeling all slow, I decided to apply some ceramic coating on my glass skates to help with this issue, and it turns out it wasn't my glass skates at all, but the mouse pad itself had worn down significantly. How do I know this? Because everywhere else on the pad where it didn't get much use feels great, but in the area which I played in felt horrible. My brother Gus even told me to wash the pad to see if maybe dirt and sweat was playing a role in slowing the pad down drastically, but that didn't do anything at all. The damage had already been done. Now, take the Dornfirnger Rawpad's durability issue, throw in some humidity, and it makes for a very grainy, muddy, inconsistent experience. I don't want to drag this part of the video too long, so let's get into all the details with the Dornfirnger Rawpad mousepad and our experience. Here are our final thoughts.
alright, so we've been using the Dornfirnger mousepad for about a week, right? They got like a week, yeah.
A week, yeah.
Yeah,
We got it last Saturday.
Yeah, yes, literally 7 days a week, right? And during that time, our experience has been mixed, actually, right? So
Yeah.
before we get into that, let's talk about quickly the features of, well, the specs of the mouse pad. So the size of the mouse pad is actually pretty decent. I actually didn't have an issue with the size.
No,
right?
the
This is
size.
pretty
And
good.
I'll put the size up, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, and like the thickness of the pad as well.
Yeah.
I get this pad. What would you say? It's like 3 millimeters, right? Around?
No, like
I'd say
4. I'll say 4.
Yeah, because it does feel pretty thick.
Yeah,
It's very squishy. Very
really
squishy.
squishy too.
You know, and that's something that I like in mouse pads. You know, I like
Yes.
when when a mouse pad has a little bit of squish.
Yes.
Right?
And the base is OEM base, right? It's really
pretty
grippy.
standard rubber base.
Yeah.
Stitching. What do you think about stitching, Gustavo?
Stitching, not the best, honestly. Like it's not flush with the surface, and it's pretty fat. Cause there's some there's some that are just as they raise up, but they're thinner.
Yes.
Those are a lot nicer, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
But yeah, the stitching not the best.
It hasn't frayed, right? So I'll
It
give you
hasn't
that.
frayed. I'll
right?
give it that. Yeah, it hasn't frayed.
And it does look pretty tight, but again,
is
yeah,
tight.
it is a very fat stitching, and it does stick
Yeah.
up from the actual
Yeah.
pad. So and you could
You kind of
could,
feel it,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. What else? Okay, the surface. So the surface. At first, we were like, how does it feel like? What does it feel like? At
Yeah,
first,
we were taking up mouse pads. We were
Yeah.
trying to figure out what this kind of like closely like resembled to.
Yeah, and at first we thought it felt like a Minerva, right? Kind of like that, right?
Yeah, actually,
Except for Minerva was slower. To the touch, it kind of felt like it, right?
Yeah.
But then we were like, nah, we gotta find a mouse pad that feels more like it, right?
Yeah.
There has to be a mouse pad we have. And yeah, sure thing, we busted out the GameSense radar, and now I felt at the time because it was fresh, right? It felt like just exactly like it. Even performance-wise, the way it moved and
Yeah,
moved the
everything
mouse
was
around,
scary similar, honestly.
really freaking similar, right? But the more time we put into it, the more this mouse pad changed, and the more our what do you call it? Our
opinions changed on it.
changed on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember when we got it at first. I was telling you, Carlos, yo, this mouse pad feels premium. It lays down flat.
It did. There was something about it, right? It was just something about it, like feeling like the surface up,
Yes.
up on top. Everything, like the squishy, right? Yeah, I don't know. There's something like I guess like the surface was the thing that really kind of like got us, right?
Yeah, and the mouse pad had laid down flat. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it doesn't lay down flat anymore, right? And we'll get into that right now, right? So we were like, man, this feels exactly like a GameSense radar, right?
Yeah.
But the more time we put into it, the less it felt like it, and the more we ended up, the more time we put into it, the more our opinion changed, and we ended up finding these little differences between it and the GameSense radar that they're little differences, but no, they're huge differences actually. Because
huge differences now.
the surface, right? The surface on the Rawpad, the Dornfirnger Rawpad, at first it felt really good, right? Really freaking good. It felt really consistent, but I don't know, you were putting most of the time into it. So
I
what
did
happened?
put most of the time into it, and I noticed that around the third day, by the way, of me just using the pad, I noticed that it started to feel a little inconsistent. Now keep in mind, I wasn't using glass skates at this time. I was using the Pulsar X Lite, right, with the stock skates, right? So I was using the Virgin grade, the PTV feet.
Yeah.
And I noticed that my tracking all of a sudden just wasn't there, and I thought to myself, maybe it's the humidity, right? Right? Maybe it could be affected by it.
Yes.
And I kept playing with it. And it does. But so I kept on playing with it, and then I switched over to glass skates. And when I switched over to glass skates, I immediately noticed that there was a dead spot here, because everything felt smooth and pretty, glidey.
Good, yeah.
And then when I got to around this part here, basically on the part where I play, I noticed that my mouse with the glass skates would just stop. I have this really heaviness to it, where it'll feel nice and then boom, just really dead and heavy.
Yes.
And I was like, man, it's the glass skates, maybe the coating wore out, because we have this little like a ceramic coating on it, right? Maybe perhaps I need to apply more. So I applied some more, and I still use it, and it still had that spot.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? So then I go back to the X Lite, right?
Yeah.
And I start using it, and I'm like, yo. It feels a little off. It did feel a little off. And again, I was using the X Lite, and I was like, I wasn't landing my shots with the X Lite. Right? I go back to the glass gates, and I'm like, that spot. And I go back to the X Lite, and I'm like, okay, so it wasn't, right? It wasn't that I was having, like an off day.
Yeah.
This pad, I don't know if it has a coating, or we just wore it the hell down within 3 days. But the fact that I wore it down in 3 days, it really left a sour taste in my mouth, honestly. Because I played so inconsistent afterwards. Super inconsistent.
Yes, same with me. Because remember, like I was telling you that at first, I was like, wow, quality pad. And I ended up liking it at first. The first 2 days I was using it, I liked it. I enjoyed my time with it. But I recently used it again the weekend after Carlos had broke it down. And, dude,
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on. Like some games I play good, some things I play
Yeah.
bad, and I can feel that. I feel it. You know what's funny?
Mm.
Yeah, now that you mentioned dead spot, I believe I captured on footage on my gameplay, where I'm trying to track somebody and I just stop and I miss them by like that much.
That
And it's
little,
because of that dead spot. Because there's times where I play really good and then I run into that dead spot and it just stops me from
Yeah.
hitting my shots.
Yeah.
Dude, and that upsets me because this mouse pad, at first, it gives the presentation of a good mouse pad,
Yeah.
but the more time we put into it,
Mm-hmm.
the more we were able to notice that the quality in this mouse pad isn't really that great, right?
Yeah. It tricked me, man. You
Yeah.
know? I was like, wow, I fell in love with the pad, and then the pad just slaps me. Oh, you know,
I
it
think-
assaults me, you know.
I think you were telling me that this mouse pad is like the fool's gold of mouse pads because it gives the presentation of it being really good mouse pad, really good quality, but the more time you put into it, it's just
Yeah, you realize, hey, man, this ain't real gold.
It's-
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, right?
Like, yeah,
And
that's the best way that we could like put it, right?
we were trying so hard
Yeah.
to make sure the mouse pad. We were trying to make sure that it wasn't just us. 'Cause
Yeah, even Gus told me, he was like, yo, wash it.
Exactly.
'Cause it's probably dirty, you know,
Exactly.
probably picks up dirt, you know, like some
Easy
other
or
mouse pads.
something.
There's,
Yes.
because we have reviewed mouse pads that pick up dirt
Super
extremely
easy.
fast,
Super
right?
easy, yeah.
So I was like, you know what, you're right. So I washed it and, you know, we let it dry for like literally like 2 days,
Yeah.
right? Now we have it here. No, it's still the same
It's
thing.
still
It's,
the
it
dead
still
spot.
has a dead
And you-
spot. It didn't do anything, honestly.
Yeah, you know, even there's mouse pads that you can wash and you can kind of get the glide back.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
for sure,
well,
yeah.
Not this one. Yeah, nah.
No. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just, look, yeah, I've known about Dornfirnger for like 2 years now.
few years, yeah, yeah.
Right? Like a few years, yeah. And I know they make mice and stuff, and I thought it was cool that we saw an EU retailer, right? I guess, or an EU,
Manufacturer.
manufacturer start putting up their mouse pads on Amazon so that people here in the
Yeah,
US can
yeah.
try them, right? And this is just criticism for them to get better, right?
Yes.
Because I want mousepad companies, right, to, you know, for them to get better and, you know, and grow from this, right?
Yes, yes.
For sure, I don't know if we got a bad part or not, but regardless, this is the pad that we got,
This is
and
what-
this is our review, right?
Yes.
You know, we have to be fair. This is kind of unacceptable when it comes to the quality, right? The fact that we washed it. Oh, by the way, it never laid down flat.
Never
That
laid
it
down
curved
flat.
in.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Like, it didn't last long.
No.
Super inconsistent whenever the
Yes.
coating or the fact that we wore it down.
Yes.
Wore down. Stitching really isn't the greatest, honestly. It's
No.
it's a really fat stitching. It is tight and it is kind of durable,
Yeah.
but it's a really fat stitching, you know. And I mean, you know, and
I'm gonna
I am able to tell. And the fact that we washed it, that it curves inwards, I don't know. You guys can definitely work on things.
Yes. 100%.
Can you recommend the mouse pad? 'Cause at the end of the day, we have to.
Yeah.
This is right.
Can I recommend?
$25 by the
Honestly,
right?
Nah, honestly,
Yeah, no.
unfortunately, I can't. I
We
want to
can't.
recommend it.
Yeah.
Because, see, we like the Game Sense Radar a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we like the
Yeah,
Game
we
Sense
did.
Radar a lot. But this one, like, okay, with the Game Sense Radar, we've had it for months, right? We put in a lot of time, right?
Yep.
And that one still feels the same, right? It still feels the same. It doesn't feel
Kind of,
nothing like
yeah,
this. It doesn't feel
isn't-
nothing like this.
No,
right?
it isn't. Yeah.
So
no.
the fact that they both felt the same, right? The fact that they both felt the same, right?
They started off
Dornfirnger-
in the same, yeah.
Exactly, and now it noticeably slowed down. It's like within
Yeah.
a week, like
Yeah.
like for real. Like I feel like if Dornfirnger can make the base where it doesn't curl in after you wash it, right? Where they can make a durable surface, so they can make the stitching more tighter and
More-
low profile.
More tighter.
I think
They have a banger.
exactly
Right,
Exactly.
because truth be told, at the beginning,
We liked it a lot.
I was playing really consistently,
me
and I was
too.
playing really well with
Yes,
this.
100%.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Yes.
It's just that, you know, we wore it down, you know, and hey, man, you know,
No.
we gotta, yeah, we just can't recommend it at this
Yeah.
state, honestly.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's our review for the Dornfirnger mousepad. Let us know what you think down below. This is Gus,
And Carlos from Hardware Unplugged.
and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.